Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of April 4th through the 10th of 2022. All right, so this week, bit of a mixed week in terms of the energy, some easy, some challenging, and an average amount of activity here. So the most important thing is we did have that new moon last Friday, and so it is still the early phase of the lunar cycle coming into this week, but it is a good week to start to challenge ourselves as we do enter into the first quarter moon, which is where the sun and moon square each other, and of course squares are always good for action, and in this case with the implementing any new beginnings from the new moon last week. So early in the week we do have Mars going over Saturn, so quite neutral here, but around the Monday time period, Tuesday as well, could be very constructive for aligning our short-term drives and goals towards our long-term drives and goals. Mars is the planet of things now, the side of ourselves that wants things now, and Saturn is the side that wants to be patient and take time with things. So anything that does combine that energy, I think, is great to work with the early part of the week. Then the middle part of the week, minor aspect, Mercury will be sextiling that conjunction with Mars and Saturn. So a bit of an opening here for maybe putting some of that drive, and groundedness into our minds, into learning perhaps, and possibly also into our communications. And around the Friday time, this is where we do get into that first quarter energy of action, the height of that. But Sunday, we do have some challenging energy a little bit. That planet Mercury of the mind and communication will be squaring up to deep Pluto. So Sunday could be a good day for channeling that mind, channeling that communication in deep ways, in authentic ways, and anything that is about excavating things consciously and constructively can be fantastic. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, April 4th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky, which is very different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to this channel, definitely check out the link down below because the signs are different. You will notice a lot of the signs are different. For a good example of this is that in mainstream, they're saying that the sun is in Aries right now. But if you do look up at the visible sky, you will see it right in the middle of Pisces. So definitely check out the link below if you're new to true Sidereal astrology. All right, so let's do a bit of a recap, just seeing where all the planets are coming into this week. Again, we are still in the early phase of the lunar cycle, in the crescent phase coming into this week, which is just beginning this new lunar cycle from Friday. So this whole lunar cycle is about incorporating more peace, more presence, more acceptance, more of that yin Pisces energy, right? And fundamentally doing things that are more important to us on a soul level. So of course, anything on that, with that context this week can be fantastic. We are also getting Jupiter getting quite close to Neptune. They're going to conjoin next week on the 12th. And so Jupiter does tend to expand things, and Neptune in Pisces is very much what we just discussed about Pisces, right? Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, rules the oceans, and so in this case Jupiter's expanding all of this, and so our dreams and ideals can be expanded. It's a great time for spiritual awareness, inner awareness. Again, for a lot of us, next week will be new perspectives on what we can do that's more important to us on a soul level, maybe letting some things go that then spark a new beginning for more soul fulfillment in our life. So this kind of a thing definitely already starting to get activated, especially with the new moon since Friday, but definitely increasing as Jupiter gets closer to that Neptune there as well. And of course, Mercury here is adding to that energy as well. So this week, recently, I didn't mention this in the last weekly, and I should have. Venus has recently entered into Aquarius just around the Saturday, Sunday time period. So coming into this week, there is the shift of values, and I think the values is on more of the Aquarian things, which is more of the visionary stuff in our life. So maybe valuing things like future visions, aspirations, maybe technology, innovative things, maybe a little more social, group-oriented things as well. So Venus here is a shift of values coming out of the more grounded Capricorn energies where she was. But of course, we do have Mars here, and of course, Mars conjunct Saturn here. So we'll talk definitely deeper about this for this week, but this is definitely the fire combining with the earth. And so definitely a good time of aligning that fire towards more of these long-term constructive things that we know will take time and patience. Could be very constructive early part of the week, and really a yearly new beginning for a lot of those things this week. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down for each day of the week now, starting first with Monday. And as you can see here, that Mars conjunct Saturn is getting quite, it's definitely with an orb coming into Monday, and it's going to go exact late Monday and early Tuesday. So yeah, new beginning. This is definitely a multi-year energy because Mars, on average transits the entire zodiac every 2.5 years on average. And so in this case, it is a 2.5 year new beginning. And the new beginning is specifically with what I would say is Saturn things and Capricorn things, which are things that are usually quite productive. It doesn't mean it necessarily has to be work or career stuff, but just things that we know will take time, patience, anything we do want to channel that grounded energy towards, this fire of Mars, right? Mars is all about action, right? Pursuing what we want, our goals, things we want now. And if we can align that to anything that we know will take time towards any long-term achievements, whether they're in our personal life or relationships or career, whatever it might be. This is a great way of utilizing this energy. For those of you who want to see some new beginnings with this area, it could be a great early part of the week to set some new intentions with aligning that. Again, we are starting to build some momentum in the lunar cycle, so it is a great week for action anyways. And, for a lot of us too, we could just start to see some new beginnings with that productive side of our life. Things like, outward achievement, accomplishment, things that take time starting to be developed. All right, so that's definitely the emphasis for this really first couple days of the week. And it is adding to the Earth energy because the moon will be in Taurus all the way through Wednesday. And Taurus is another Earth sign just like Capricorn. And so in this case, just as a backdrop, I think these first few days is good for taking things a bit slowly. Taurus the bull, it's all about taking things one step at a time and stopping to smell the roses as well. Taurus can be great for enjoying the natural world, the sensual world, sometimes the luxurious world. The moon is very strong here, exalted here. And so enjoying and being grateful for the material stuff. But really fundamentally, it's the inner resources, right? This could be a great time of reconnecting to our inner strength, our self-reliance, our resourcefulness, right? And probably some themes around that developing this early part of the week. All right, and then once we start to get into the Thursday time, the moon will start to shift into Gemini. And this is also the time we're going to start to feel this Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, sextiling up to that conjunction. So Gemini and Mercury are all about our minds and communication. And so this middle part of the week, we'll say Thursday, Friday, and even the early part of Saturday, but we'll say mainly Thursday and Friday, themes around doing this, right? Reconnecting with that side that wants to learn, is curious, is interested, is light on our toes, is a bit of a jack of all trades, right? And we could notice some themes around that. Good time of developing that kind of energy, really challenging ourselves to develop that kind of energy, I would say, because this is the, again, first quarter where the sun squares the moon. And so the challenge is that it's very different from what we're experiencing on a monthly sense, right? Because monthly and big picture, there's a lot of water, right? It's Pisces. It's what's more important on a soul level, and it's more about no mind, let's say, or more inward and emotional connection. But it becomes very constructive when we can channel that spiritual or emotional or imaginative or soul-guided energy of Pisces towards practical things. And that's really where Gemini can really ground and implement Piscean things. So again, channeling our mind, our practical life, into things is great, especially in the context of any new beginnings from that new moon last Friday. So Mercury here is in support to that conjunction, with Saturn and Mars early in the week. So I think this is definitely on the supportive side with assisting these new beginnings towards those more long-term or accomplishing things. And so anything we want to use our mind towards to help facilitate that, maybe something involving communication or correspondence might come in. It's just an opening. Really, sextiles are quite minor in nature, nothing too major here, but definitely an opening to be utilized. It is the square, so we may come up to our first challenges of this lunar cycle. I want to make that clear. The first quarter typically will come to our first challenges, and that's why it's good to challenge ourselves around this week, middle part of the week. But this, mental and communicative energy is just a door opening for that collectively, and anything we do want to channel that into, especially towards maybe some of those accomplishing things or things we're setting goals towards or building this week, can be fantastic. All right, and then as we start to get into the later part of Saturday here, the moon will start to shift into Cancer, and so the second half of Saturday and all day Sunday, good for creating a bit of a protective environment for ourselves. This is a fellow water sign too, Pisces. We will start to notice a little more momentum being built coming out of that first quarter moon a little bit, mostly next week. But anything that is about creating a protective environment for ourselves or others can be fantastic when the moon is in Cancer. Good time of sometimes connecting with home or in our personal life or just to our feelings, the past a little bit, all right, reconnecting to, again, those emotions and that inner world. But here, Mercury is then going to come into this challenge with Pluto. It's nothing major, right? We have something like this, 4 times a year with Mercury and Pluto. So with this one, if there is anything, again, that you do want to, in this case, really challenge yourself with that mental and communicative energy that might require facing some fears or empowering ourselves or willing ourselves to do it. And it might be uncomfortable, but we know can be very constructive. Then it is a great way of utilizing that. Our minds are certainly in the underworld around that Sunday time period, maybe just seeing the deeper aspects of life and of the human experience, and even of our own inner world, fears and things like that. So anything that's about being mindful to that, aware of it, and then constructively empowering ourselves to reconnect with that deeper world in a way that is constructive, aware, and maybe even, again, communicating it with Mercury squaring Pluto, authenticity, depth, the real, the raw, the truth. Right, all of this is great to be done constructively. And so in this way, it's a great time for all things deeper like this, research, healing, psychological stuff, again, self-empowerment, really good to challenge yourself. Again, nothing major, and it's quite quick. Mercury's in full speed at the moment. So yeah, just passing through there that mainly early Sunday for a lot of us, but we'll just say around the Sunday time period. Okay, and then as we start to get into next week, we're again getting closer to that Jupiter conjunct Neptune. So that'll be on the 12th. And so that's really starting to expand, being aware of that soul-guided self, the unconscious self, the self that wants to, part of the self that wants to do more soul-fulfilling things, have more peace in our life, things like that. And we could certainly see some new beginnings starting to unfold next week with that one. And Mars is going to start to leave Capricorn here very late, really next week, Monday, but starting to leave Capricorn around Sunday. And so easing up from a lot of that more denser earth energy when it comes to our fire and our action, and starting to go into Aquarius, which is maybe where we'll start to not only value this kind of progressive energy with Venus here, but starting to take action in this way, maybe challenging the status quo, maybe our own status quo a little bit, but these status quo usually thinking outside the box, doing things differently, letting out some of that true self that's weird and unorthodox when we're taking action can be fantastic. All right, so actually I said a lot, but it's quite a simple week astrologically. It's the first quarter moon. It's a good week to challenge ourselves, especially that middle part of the week, towards any new beginnings from around last Friday. And so in this case, how can we incorporate some of that water? What's more important to us on a soul level, on a spiritual level? That's definitely the emphasis this week and next. And in this case, we have some energy to integrate with Mercury and Gemini. So using our mind in the practical life and communication, maybe even a little social life, to help move that along or help facilitate a lot of this energy. And again, really just find that balance between the stillness and the peace that is good to develop with Pisces at the moment, but also, of course, our practical lives, our mental lives, and even social lives. with Gemini here. All in all, a new beginning to the more constructive side of things. Mars conjunct Saturn could be fantastic. A lot of us could see some, again, new beginnings and aligning that fire towards long-term things that will take time. Certainly not things that'll just all of a sudden, come out of this. They will take time. Again, 2.5 year cycle as well, but certainly the early phases of that. We've had a lot of conjunctions lately. It's really a lot of new energy for the year starting to shape up. And again, even next week, we have this very collective new beginning, this conjunction with Jupiter and Neptune for that soul guidedness as well. All right, so everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube. There's a link to sign up down below. It's absolutely free. But again, thank you so much for all of your support, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.